never done this before, guys. This is behind the scenes. See that thing? It's a flying thing that causes a lot of accidents. Now we're gonna jump the top. So you just hold it down until it drops.
Yep.
The monster. Wow. This is the coolest drop the top experience ever for me because got drone rounding on it.
Saved about 500 bucks. It saved about 1,000 plus.
To work out cheaper for me.
3,000,
215, even more.
Facebook for 200 plus. 400 bucks of savings.
Okay guys, I'm obviously smiling more now because in front of me we have the SLK!
So not a boring car. Not a boring car.
See, more smiles also. The limited information that I know of the SLK is from him. So he has been educating me on the SLKs, and you know me, I'm like, okay lah, SLK, that nice man, okay already ma. Okay, I come to appreciate it after driving with them for a while lah.
You can have a go at the car later. But this is a 2008 or 2009 SLK. It's an R171.
Okay.
So currently right now they have the R172.
Okay.
Which they after that they moved on to the SLC. They branded it as SLC.
Okay.
R171 1.8 litre engine, supercharged.
Oh.
But the supercharger makes a lot of difference. Right? The R172,
Yep.
right, they go 2 litre but it's turbocharged.
Okay.
The older one, which is the R171, which you see the headlights is a bit square, they have the same engine as it, right?
Okay.
So this engine, a lot of people say it's bulletproof, right? It's one of the most reliable engine
Really?
in the market.
Wow. Okay. I just noticed, so small, so cute.
Yeah. Nothing so fanciful, nothing so much to shout about. Just the right size, just the right dimensions and whatnot. A little bit dated, so as I was just sharing with you earlier, usually convertibles they have the wind scarf.
Wind deflector here, yep.
This is a very manual. Oh, shucks. This is a manual wind deflector. Okay.
Yep.
Which you have to go and strap it on.
Okay.
Okay, and then you bolt it on.
Okay.
And it's made out of very high durable cloth material. Okay, so I need to go look for my tailor to properly do it again.
Ah,
Fix
okay.
it up.
So what have you done on the exterior? Have you done much to it?
No, stop.
What?
Okay, except.
Ha, sure not. I always, all of them stop.
Okay, and then air filter.
Oh, okay.
So
Air
I just said-
filter.
Yeah. Wanted to go down the route of doing up an exhaust
Okay.
and whatnot, but I figured I think just save the money
Okay.
and go get my Boxster. Right?
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
Sure.
yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah, when the Boxster comes, I'll let you know.
So I have had a little bit of time with this car, like I think about 10-15 minutes just only, and I realized it has very interesting quirks in the car. I'll just show you. So one of it, maybe I'll show. Okay lah, the most obvious thing, like point out, is the mismatch of this.
Yeah, it's a bit uncle but when I got the car, alright, which I'll share with you the experience when I got the car. When I got the car at the time, it just came with this. So
Okay.
I believe when I got it in from Japan, someone actually pasted it, stick on it, because if you notice that actually the original comes in this.
Yep.
And they actually pasted that thing.
Okay.
So my very good buddy, the moment I showed him this car, the first thing he told me was, hey bro, you need to go and get that changed.
Yes.
So until to this
completely
very day, I
agree.
didn't have the time to actually go and get it changed. But
Yep.
if I want to, I will definitely want to wrap it up in carbon fiber.
The next thing that I noticed is maybe you want to explain this.
Okay, so that's a clip. And yeah, basically I custom do this mats. This is the original Mercedes mats in there.
Why
right?
do you not like it?
No, I like it, but then the thing is, over time it wears and tear.
Okay.
So this will get faded, you know, this will get a bit, you know, this is like, as if it's being used up.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So what I did is actually have this custom made. We actually cut it on our own.
Okay.
and then I pasted it in there because when you get in and out of the car, you don't want this whole thing to run. And you see, it's clean. You see, it's neat. So I'm fine with it. The most important thing is the engine.
The third thing that I already noticed within the span of 15 minutes is he doesn't like to peel this thing. So that's why at the boot I'll insert right here, and this as well, I noticed.
Yeah, so when I bought the car, right, all the stickers were still intact. I decided to just leave it there. And yeah, I tried to peel it out and then see what happens. So definitely need someone to actually detail it to go and get this all removed.
Anything else?
I think you enjoy more when you're in the car.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh. Oh, okay.
Yes, what a relief.
Okay, let's go.
Just to remind you, it's close to about 12 o'clock.
I'm sorry, I keep doing this to people.
Sun is up. Lucky it rained this morning.
Okay lah.
But usually,
drop the top,
usually drop top fans can just get by it. Hardcore fans, I would say.
So why? Why did you decide on the drop the top?
Actually, about 5 to 8 years ago, I realized one thing, that whenever I drive a car, I like to have the windows down. It's a very, very weird habit.
I notice a lot of people like that too though. But you're not a smoker, right?
No, I'm not a smoker. It's a weird habit. Is whenever I go out, be whether it's a morning or an evening, I like to have the windows down.
Okay.
I just like the wind coming in. I like
your
the
hair?
Yeah, either in the hair or the hair. But it's like you just get the feeling of the wind is coming in. You can hear things on the outside. Alright, no doubt it's a little bit polluted, but that sense of feeling, it's very hard to explain. Okay. And I think most importantly is the sound that your car creates when you accelerate, or even when you're driving in a hilly road, a mountain road. When you downshift, when you accelerate, the air coming into the engine bay, coming out from the exhaust. That whole experience, right, is a totally different experience. The experience is very hard to explain unless you drop the top and you actually sit in the car and you go through a very curvy and winding road. Right now we are in a town area, right? So you don't tend to have that experience, right?
Yeah.
But when you take it down a very curvy mountain road, right, your perception will change. So in fact, I'm not going to drive this car into the highway. I'm going to drive it around this area whereby it's a bit more shady. Back then, I realized that I just like to have the windows down. Then I figured maybe a sports car which is a convertible would be an ideal thing. Then back then everyone would be saying, the mechanism is always going to be a problem.
People, yeah. And if it's a soft top, then people will like, oh, where? I've never heard of that before. People will cut your top and then they will steal stuff inside.
Yeah. So later along the way, if we have some time, I'm going to share with you a story of a Boxster which I managed to keep for my friend for 1 week. And having to drive that car, it being a soft top, right, it's a totally different experience as well, because whatever people say about cutting the roof, I guess is number one, where you go, where you park, alright? Maybe you should not have so much worry and enjoy the car more, personally, I would say.
Yes. So why the SLK though?
Before I got the car, it was it's one car that I really wanted to own. Why? Because of the shape. In particular, the R171 is more flat front, it's more long front,
yes,
and it's sharp, right?
Yeah.
So it mimics the SLR. During those times, the SLR is like the supercar. It has a lot of F1 DNA in the car itself. And the other bit that I actually love it was it's a supercharger.
Okay.
So when you have a supercharger,
yeah,
right,
you don't find many superchargers.
That's right. You don't find that many superchargers.
I think even as a passenger, why I asked whether it's a rear-wheel drive, because I can actually feel the car being pushed. Sometimes when I go into a car, you're not sure whether it's a rear-wheel drive or it's a front-wheel drive. You can't really feel it, but with this car, I can feel it quite prominently.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very nice feeling.
Yeah.
By the way, whenever we drive together, drop the top, I'm just smelling his smoke on it. That's it. And he's like, okay, I'll see you at the top. Then go, then he order all the drinks, and okay, you're here,
Drive safe. And another thing about the SLK is the size is just right, and it's like a roadster. And at every single point in time, sometimes especially when you have friends who drive Porsches, right, you tend to want to follow. Yeah. But the problem or the challenge is always like, that this is a roadster, it's very hard for you to keep up, and it's also not safe for you to keep up. Right? So just drop the top and enjoy the drive. I think that's what's very important. So if you notice, you can hear a bit more engine sound, engine noise when the thing is down.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether the air filter makes a difference, but for me it doesn't matter because I just wanted to just itchy finger change the air filter. Got this car for about 4 years already. Ownership experience perfect.
Maintenance wise?
Maintenance slightly a little bit more on the high side.
This one 500 meter bend tekan already. As a family guy, do you think drop the top is a feasible car or why? Because I know a lot of people who are like, okay, I buy drop the top now. It's always like I buy drop the top now, I can experience now. But when I get a family, then maybe I won't have a drop the top anymore.
I guess this really depends on preference. At the end of the day, right, essentially you want to have a very special car to go to. Like for me, it's I use this really a lot on Sunday drives.
Yep.
You have a shitty day at work for the past 5 days. You just want that one day, you just want to go out and you want to enjoy yourself a bit. So what more to enjoy yourself with a drop top?
Yes.
Right? It's just something to look forward to.
Okay.
Especially when you have friends who share the same, I wouldn't say passion, but
Same love for it,
same love, same interest of having a drop top driving. You don't mind having a bit of smoke smell,
Yeah.
you know, few cars coming by you all the way.
Correct.
You then enjoy that kind of companionship, regardless whether it's a JDM, regardless
Correct.
whether it's a Continental car, as long as you have the drop top, it's a totally different experience.
Correct. It really is a different experience because when you are in like the normal car, not a drop the top, a roof, you only engage with 4 senses, whereas we have 5 senses, right? We have 6 senses. How many senses do we have? But basically, we're engaging with the rest of our senses, and the most important one is the smell. You tend to smell a lot more with the drop the top, and I don't know. To me, in a way, it makes me a lot more grateful for the things that I have as well. Because I go, let's say I'm driving, and then I see a garbage truck in front of me. You drop the top, you're usually chilling, you're having thoughts to yourself, and I think, wow, all these people every day, what they do for a living, they pick up rubbish, they pick up our rubbish, they separate our rubbish. Then you just feel it's not an easy job to have, to do it all the time, and then I have more appreciation towards them picking up rubbish. And then
And not to say what, you notice that there's a lot of Grab drivers on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, Grab motorcyclists on the road. This is what they go through on a daily basis.
Correct.
Alright? Yeah.
Correct. Understanding each other more, being more compassionate towards other people, more empathetic as well. So yeah, a lot of things that I have experienced myself with the drop the top. One question I always get asked: bird shit. You kena before with drop the top? I also never kena before.
No, never.
Everyone's like, hey, you drop the top so much, you got kena bird shit? Like, I we all touch wood lah.
And another thing that I realized is whenever it rains.
Yeah.
You know, some people say, yeah, whenever it rains, you know how? Actually, I've driven before when it was raining, but only at a certain speed, right? The rain won't actually come inside here, right?
Yes.
The rain actually flows. Like
Unless you like very tall lah.
yeah, correct. Unless you're very tall.
Yeah.
But then, having said that, I'm sure you have stops along the way, alright, that you actually can pull aside and then just retract the top back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The worst is if it's raining and you're in a jam.
Yep.
That's the worst one.
Yeah.
Because you have nowhere to stop, you have nowhere to run to.
Correct. Generally, maintenance-wise,
Yeah.
like I shared earlier, engine is quite a bulletproof engine. A lot of workshop friends that I spoke to, they attest to the engine being a very good engine, very durable.
Yeah.
Maintenance-wise, as long as you maintain it, you know, change the usual wear and tear things, it will continue to serve you well lah. You know, it's very simple methodology. Treat the car well, make sure you get it all fixed, get it all sorted out. The car will also treat you well in the end lah. So that's my methodology lah.
Like having a relationship lah, right?
To maintain a bit lah.
Every now and then you pump Ron 100.
Oh yeah,
shake
yeah,
a bit,
yeah.
or sayang the car.
Yeah.
Take it out for car washes, surprise it. Hey, I got something new for
Correct.
you. I'm telling you, they have feelings on it. I completely believe it.
And one thing I noticed, cars like this,
Yeah.
be it whether it's a Porsche, Mercedes, BMW and whatnot, importantly, constantly drive it. You'll be very surprised that the more you keep your car at home, the more lazy it becomes.
It's just like your brain.
Yeah.
The more you use it, the more you try and learn more things, the more proactive your brain becomes, and then it links more things together.
That's
Whereas
right.
when you're always like on Netflix and chill, then your brain is also very lazy to do anything else.
That's right. It's a very good car to start up. Start out meaning to say that if you want to get into the world of, you know, Merc, drop the tops, roadsters, yeah, or Miata as well. Support Miata. So and then again, because it's a supercharged, so it does give you an edge sometimes, especially when you need the power to actually climb up hills and whatnot.
Yeah, that one I got to agree.
Yeah. I remember when we were supposed to drive out to Genting, you were telling us, yeah, you can go ahead first, I'll see you at the top then.
Yeah, man. Especially like for Miatas, because we all know Miatas aren't fast. So we tend to get left behind, especially when there's a hill. Because it's the type of car where it carries the speed.
Yep.
Whereas this car, I think you tekan then it goes one.
Yes, correct.
Has there been any major issues? Major
Yes.
complications?
The latest one that I managed to get it sorted out was the roof mechanism.
The first thing I asked him when I met him at the drive, I was like, hey, your top okay ah? Cause like Lenny and I always make fun. I'm so sorry as SLK owners okay. Because we see so many of you, but none of you drop the top one. So every time I'm like, hey, SLK never drop the top. Probably because cannot drop the top.
So if you see it's okay. If you see a group of SLKs in the morning, and you see one or two of them not having the top up, I'm sorry to say, the roof got issues. Seriously, there's nothing to hide. There is nothing to hide. Because come on, at 7 in the morning when we want to go for a drive, the best time is to have your roof down, right? So yeah. But the first thing which any buyers or anyone that wants to own an SLK, it's really to check the roof mechanism.
Okay.
So one thing about the roof is that when there is a leak, you see oil leak at the hinges, right?
Actually, your one, you just got all of this replaced.
Yeah, so
your
this
rubber
one,
parts, it's very new.
this was replaced about 2 or 3 months back.
Okay.
So in this
When we first met.
yeah. So in this SLK itself, there are 4 hydraulics, 4 or 5 hydraulics that actually power the whole mechanism.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And I got it all changed because the car is close to about 10 years old already.
Okay.
Right? Also advisable to retract your roof on and off.
Just get the mechanism going.
Yeah, just to get the mechanism going, just to get the oil or the pressure, moving all together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's also advisable. Not buying it and keep it at home and don't use it. I know it's a weekend car, but buying it,
every
keeping it at
weekend
home.
you drive.
Yeah, so just drive it on every weekend. The roof mechanism part is the one that is
The major
issue.
Okay. Other than that,
engine wise,
like you say, bulletproof.
it's bulletproof. It's okay, just your regular maintenance. The other thing that I've changed recently is the absorbers, which is normal wear and tear.
Yep.
So I think other than that, we're good to go.
Most memorable experience?
Loads
Too
of it.
many.
I think too many. I enjoy driving it on the weekend, especially during B roads, back roads and many other places, right?
Yeah.
And recently, I pair it with continue on with my interest for photography. That's why I brought a drone, alright, to me and with me.
Yeah.
And then I go to places of which I never been there before.
Yeah.
And I fly the drone together while driving this. So I really enjoy taking this car, especially to places with tight corners, with very small corners, and you can actually feel the car is quite well balanced, especially with the top down. You can actually feel it going to corners very, very, very smoothly, very stable and whatnot. But not at those really, really fast corners, I would say. So there is a number of times where I followed some of my friends. They were driving Porsches, and sometimes when you follow from behind, you tend to follow the speed,
Yes.
especially the entry speed.
Yes.
And that's where you start to realize you're only driving a roadster.
Yes,
It's a totally different car. Or as much as you want to catch up, but
Yes.
you have to know your car limits.
Correct.
So when I got the car, I didn't really understand it well, right? That's why I always tell people whenever you get a car, number one, always importantly, when you go into a corner, right? Do not, especially when it's a fast speed corner, when you want to turn, you do not slam or step on the accelerator so abruptly, because your rear will actually swing or sway, right? But those kind of skills or those kind of experiences, you have to figure it out on your own, especially when you drive the car. And that's where all the safety come into play. And you know how much you need to accelerate, you know how much you need to take it out of the corner, you know how fast you can go into the corner, and how much is your braking efficiency. So all those, you have to experience it on your own. I think earlier on I was sharing about a Boxster. So why a Boxster? Okay. Number one is definitely it's because it's a Porsche. Number one. Number two,
are you like a Porsche fanboy?
Not really a fanboy, but I felt that in terms of owning it realistically, you know, having to own it, maintenance and everything, I think it's a more reasonable car, at least for me.
As compared to
a 911. I mean, you know, sometimes people will say, oh, why don't you buy a 911? If we are talking within the Porsche range, why don't you buy a 911 versus a Boxster? But then again, my preference, I'll go for the Boxster itself. Two things. Actually, one is the drop top. Two is the side characteristics of the car. When you actually look into it, there's a side air intake. So Boxster is a mid-engine, right? So there are two air intakes on the side there. It makes it a bit more sportier as compared to the 911 Carrera, right? And then earlier on, I shared a story about me having to hold a 981 for 1 week because what happened was this: a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, he wanted to drive a convertible. So when we went through the classifieds, and then one day he told me, hey Sylvan, I found a convertible, can we go and see it together? Because it was his first time to actually own a sports car, a two-door sports car. And he was daring enough to say, okay, I want a convertible. Then again, he's quite exquisite, I would say. He has very good taste. So I said, I want to see this convertible, let's go on the weekend. So we actually went to see this seller in Bukit Tinggi. And then he loves the car so much, and he said, okay, I want his car. So we got it all settled and got it all transferred over. And then when he was travelling, so he said, hey Sylvan, can you help me to look after this car, take care of it, or anything that needs to be done, let me know, then you help me out with it. And then again, he's really not a car guy, but I would say now you ask him anything about Ferrari and Porsches, he knows, because he's like well educated from all of us. So when I had that car for that 1 week, I didn't really drive it so much, but I had the pleasure of at least driving a Boxster, owning it, you know.
The experience
Yeah, the experience is priceless really, because 3.4 litre is a naturally aspiring engine, and you got to work out the RPMs, you have to work out the power in order to go and get the full capacity of the car. And the sound from the engine is just it's mesmerizing, I would say.
So that's how your friend poisoned you lah?
Yeah. So I told him, it's like, you know, if you ever thought of selling off the car, just let me know, because I felt that this car at these specs and the budget and whatnot would suit my side.
So you're looking for the exact same thing?
You see, this is the funniest part. 6 months after he owns the car, he was like, you know what, Sylvan, I think I want to upgrade the Porsche. And I'm like, I'm not ready to buy it, but it's okay. Just sell it off. I know when my time comes, I'll go and get it. So look at that. You see that? You see the side?
Yes.
You look at the side. Okay, sorry. So I was so I said it's okay, go ahead and sell off the car. Actually, he was very adamant to let me have the car, but I said I think it's not the right time yet, and lucky I didn't, right? But I told him, go ahead and sell it off, buy what you want first. I'll sort it out myself. So essentially, if you ask me that question, what kind of spec? For me, it's I like it in Miami blue. So when the time comes, I'm actually going to get another friend of mine to actually source this car out, either from UK or from Japan for me. It's going to be a Miami blue Boxster. Definitely a drop top. I'm not going to get a hard top. Right? And Miami blue, it has to be a 3.4 litre. With that chrono package and whatnot, all those functions. It must have a Sports Plus. And it must have that Porsche exhaust button. Why? Because with those combination, right, it's just perfect.
Seems like you have your whole action plan laid out.
let you drive.
Ha! Really?
First time driving SLK, go ahead.
First time. Wow, I a bit kanchong. Why you say so low?
Just adjust as per how do you want it to be.
This is the most front it can go. I cannot touch the pedal.
Are you serious?
I'll make this work. So you have to be of a certain height in order to get the SLK. Obviously, if you're 160 and below, no. I'm
You
serious.
need some, I think you need that pillow, is it?
The one at the go-kart, then they put
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pillow one,
yeah,
then you
yeah.
move it front.
Yep.
You just get a Miata lah, guys.
Electronics.
Oh, telescopic. Wow.
Yes, exactly.
I was looking at your stock. Your stock looks very interesting also when you were driving around just
So
now.
it's an indicator plus a wiper, everything all into one stock. I think it even have cruise control initiator. Oh, no, sorry, it's over there. Sorry, over that side. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just one stock.
Okay.
No, cruise control is here.
Okay. Cool.
Alright, Joe.
Thanks
Most
Thanks for
welcome.
helping with the handbrake. I always very kanchong to drive other people's car because obviously it's other people's car.
Yeah.
Wow, very heavy car.
Press, please step
Press
on the accelerator. Step
Okay,
it on.
means-
Just step it on.
I love the sound though.
And it's a bumper.
I feel like my sitting position a bit kung fu like that. So I'm using my left foot to kind of
Oh, push yourself.
push myself to the center tunnel here. And then every time I accelerate, I have to go down. And then
Okay.
and then when I lift off, I come back up to see whether everything is okay. But I love your interior color. I mean, besides the
Oh, this has to be red, right?
yes, maroon red, very nice.
It gives that sporty kind of feel to the car.
And you're stationary, and then you try to move the steering wheel, so you can definitely feel a bit of resistance. It feels so short. I'm literally my eye level is on your odometer. I'm
Don't worry. You find it if you're not comfortable, we can change back. Don't worry.
I like what your sitting position because you kind of sink into the seat as well. And I think that's the perfect drop the top sitting position where you're just so chill, laid back, and you immerse yourself in the car itself.
Yep.
And you're one with the car.
Correct. Agreed. Step it up.
Oh!
If it wasn't for the supercharger,
Yeah.
you won't.
Cannot.
Number one, you won't be able to get the feeling.
But even though it's a supercharger, it's quite progressive,
Yes.
the acceleration.
Yes.
I always thought like cars with turbocharger or supercharger, you would feel the pushback sometimes.
Not apparent for a supercharger, but for a turbocharger, you might feel that slight pushback.
How's your sound system?
My God.
Okay, sound system very bassy.
Very basic. So when the top is down, when you go through uneven surfaces, right, you feel it's a murk, you know. It absorbs the
Unevenness of the ground.
unevenness of the ground. But when it's
more
up,
solid lah. Then you feel more rattles. I know of people who like the hard top because they say when I put it up, it feels just like any other car. So you have the best of both worlds. Where you can drop the top, you have this feeling, and when you put it up, it's like any other car is gonna do.
and it eradicates the fear of people cutting into the cloth thing.
Okay, thank you so much, Suban.
You're most welcome. It's 12:30. The sun is like very hot.
Okay lah, this is not the worst one, right?
No, it's not the worst. The worst was when we had the SLK drive. I think it was in Penang.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was a gathering of all the SLKs from JB, Southern, Penang, Ipoh, and we all went up to Penang. When we reached there, it was 12. We had lunch, and then after that, we went for a photo shoot session. And it was close to about 2 or 3 o'clock. Balik Pulau area. It's a very nice drive, I think.
Yes.
That route.
Yes.
And all of us had the top down.
Then all kena sunburn.
All kena sunburn. I think the ladies in there, they couldn't take it. Say we just gonna put the top up.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was quite bad. It was quite bad. But it's just the thrill and fun of it.
Yes, it's an experience. Now you telling me also you're laughing. I think that's worth it.
Yeah,
daddy on TV, you see?
Yeah. Then I can tell her what I do on the weekends. Because sometimes she always asks me, oh daddy, you going on a drive again?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Have you not taken her to a drive before?
No, I can't. I don't. But I did take her out to places like Putrajaya in the car. So took her out in the car, at least let her see the lights, see all the decors and whatnot. So that's where she kind of learned let's go for a drive. And then when I have the car at home, right, when I want to just shift the car about, she's like, can I follow you? And then the next thing she said, can you put the top down?
Aiyo!
So I was like, yeah, sure.
Okay, looking forward. You should bring her on a drive. You just chill drive lah.
One day, when she comes of age.
Then that time we went for a drive also, that was like 40, 60 most for the person behind lah.
I think so.
See what?
Okay.
Cool.
Too much for me. What'll I do? What'll I do? What'll I do?